It's okay. I'm just on the road and the car behind me just went ballistic at me. So I'm expressing a lot of composure. I'm a relaxed character. So
yeah. Well, did you tighten him up with no indicator on, or why is this man performing like this?
I'm actually not entirely sure. Maybe they're a fan of the program and they knew I was coming on.
We've got a Group 2, race number 5 at Gloucester Park here on Friday night, the 4-year-old Classic. And it is a race in 2, I think, at this stage, with Beddore's Pride and also Just Call Me Mickey, looking like they'd be both hard to beat.
Well, Beddore's Pride was a magnificent effort last week. I was pretty keen on him, and he didn't win. He ran 6th, but I couldn't have been happier with the performance, really. He burnt through the first 100 metres, then he had to go again between the 14 and the 12, and I thought he was admirably stoic over the late stages to box on and not be beaten that far. He's drawn 2. I'm Lightning Banner holds the key to the race in 1, what he wants to do from that barrier, so that'll go a long way to determining Beddore's Pride's fate. Can't rule out Just Call Me Mickey. Couldn't have done much more in his last couple of starts. Golden Loads drawn to get a soft run along the pegs, and there's a few other fringe players. Of course, Copycat Queen beat virtually this field very recently. However, she goes from 1 to 9, which makes her job harder. It's a good cast.
Mr. Smarty, are you expecting him to bounce back after a couple of defeats at the hands of Minstrel and Captain Ravishing in his last 2? Should he be winning the 4th? It's a pretty smart lineup, and he does draw the outside of the front. In
a word, no. I think he's up against it from out there.
Okay, $1.55.
Bit going on. Penny Black's going to be gunning forward at all costs, and there's a few underneath who might want to keep her at bay. If Penny Black runs to the front, though, I reckon she can beat Mr. Smarty on current form, and even if she's in the breeze, that means Mr. Smarty can't come round, because I don't think they'll be letting Mr. Smarty into it. So it's going to make his task really tough, and I wouldn't be getting involved at the short quote, and that doesn't rule out a few others. But it's a long tail to this race. You'll see that the first 3 in the betting rate a million miles clear of the rest, and I think Penny can upstage Smarty.
Okay, where does the captain get in the run then?
He'll be just smoking the pipe just off them, I think, coming with 1 run. Last start, it was just a bit of an indifferent showing. Things didn't go right for him. Lindsay Harper was self-effacing in his synopsis of his steer, so I think we could see an improved effort this week, but he's still got a job to do.
A few other interesting races on the card. Back to last night quickly. First of all, kudos to you. You came on drive for a few minutes. You threw out Trip, Trip, Bang, Bang, scored at $5.60, and you read the race perfectly, was able to work to the top. But I'll ask you a question. What was the biggest run of the night last night there at GP?
Biggest run?
Horse that was beaten, I would go in race number 3.
Oh, yeah.
Fleur de Marquis.
Getting at now.
That was one of the biggest runs I've seen in a long time. And my question was, will this horse back up again on Friday night? And should she get a more economical run, can she be winning race number 9? We should get a more economical run from 1.
Yeah, but the thing about Fleur de Marquis is, you're right. Drawn 1, it's going to be a better assignment for her, but you got to understand that this race is a lot harder than that. Interestingly, the horse she got involved in that speed battle with the wild card, who ended up dropping out and running second last, he scratched unsurprisingly from Friday. But this is a bit trickier. There's horses like Maximum Rock. Grievous first up for Karen Thompson, a really new purchase to the stable. Karen can do a job with these kind of horses. She got Navy Street off Hayden coming back a while ago, and she did a fantastic job with him. And then others like Dark Eyes Quinton drawn the outside of the track. They're probably the class runners. Maximum Rock, it wouldn't surprise me if he improved significantly. But you are right, Fleur de Marquis comes in with logical claims. And when I was looking at this race, it's a 1-4 Metro win race, and it's not a very strong 1-4 Metro win race. Sometimes these events can get pretty deep in the collective depth, but it could be an opportunity for her to break through.
Okay, we've got a couple of previews, or a prelude and a preview. Let's start off with a WA Derby preview, because we've already had one of these, I think. Charavari from the 1 for Ryan Bell. Would it head the betting going into this, or would Rumble Strip be a chance to bounce back after ran ninth after 3 wins in a row?
Charivari is the early favourite. He's $2.70. Rumble Strip's $3.20. There's not a heap between them in the betting. Charivari, courtesy of the draw, comes right into calculations. He was 1,000,000 times better last start when he was able to power past Bodine Hunter, who's a pretty nice horse. And now he comes up with gate number 1. Rumble Strip's definitely the stronger commodity of the two. I'd expect him to be up in the breeze and pestering throughout, and there's every chance he could still finish the strongest. And then last week's winner, Captains Have Time, who surprised me how well she went. She was out of this world. She firstly had to burn to catch up the mobile because she was naughty in the score-up, and then they went a 27-4 second quarter, I think, and she still kept gutsing it out and grinding it along up front. So even though she's drawn 7, they've given her a chance to bust her way into Derby calculations. I think it'll be another surprise again if she wins this week, but it wouldn't be the rudest shock. And then even Runkle Crunch is drawn to get a dreamy run behind them. If the gaps come his way, he'll be very dangerous.
Okay, this first race looks a good race for Artie by the Seaside, the prelude for the Norm's Daughter, dropping back in class from the Schrader last week.
Yeah, looks pretty elementary, really. I'd expect Artie by the Seaside to lead. Heavenly Gypsy's got some gate speed, but I don't think she could cross Artie by the Seaside, so they might take a conservative approach with Heavenly Gypsy this time and just tuck her in and wait for the Norm's Daughter next start. I think that's 2 weeks away because they've got a preview, I think, next week. And then others like Princess Katie, Akara and Navajo, they'll be pretty happy to go to the pegs, I'd expect. So, yeah, it looks Artie by the Seaside's race to lose.
Is Raiklu a chance of beating a horse like Artie by the Seaside in the Norm's Daughter in a few weeks if draws are favourable?
She has to draw 1. That's the simple fact of the matter. If she draws 1, then she becomes some chance of beating her. But still Artie by the Seaside, not only is she a better horse, she's much better in terms of her tractability, which is going to be a big asset. I just think that Artie could probably use that nous at some stage and still beat Raiklu, and then you've got others to worry about as well. So it's not going to be a 2-horse race in the Norm's Daughter if Raiklu even gets there.
Okay, just wrap it up, that 2-year-old race in the last. There's some good form in this race, but does Amalfi Knight, haven't seen the horse since September, is it going to be favourite here?
Yeah, it looks pretty hard to beat. Ran second on debut at Pinjarra when he got it wrong and then went back to trials successfully, and after that came to the races in September and did it very easily indeed. Came away in the style of a really nice horse. That last 100 or so metres was particularly captivating, and I'd expect him to go there on Friday and win, and I think that will not be the end of the road for him. There will be even greater wins in store.
Before we let you go, Hayden, WA Pacing Cup, our biggest and most prestigious race, not our richest race anymore here in WA. Only 6 weeks away. Have you got any whispers or heard any word about potential Eastern States representation for the WA Pacing Cup? I think it's the 12th of December.
I doubt it because there's so much else going on.
Yeah.
There's the New Zealand Cup, which most of the Eastern States and New Zealand horses will be looking at. And then there's the Blacks Are Fake, which is also, I got mistracked there. But, yeah, it's just in terms of the timing, it doesn't work in with the schedule. So I'd expect it'll be primarily WA based, and I'd be surprised if anyone really came over. We haven't seen Better Eclipse yet, though, but he's now based in WA. He'll be having his first run for Hall Junior in the upcoming weeks, I'd expect. I don't know how far away he is, but he's the closest thing we're going to get, I think.
Okay, Hayden, we'll do it again on Friday and have the King's Question for Snooze, that $100 voucher for Lane Tomic and all the team out there, Coburn and Cannington. Thanks for coming on. How's that man tailing you from behind? Is he still there, or you got rid of? Have you shaken the tag?
No. Have you ever watched Dexter, the TV show?
Not really.
Oh. I was going to say, I'm like Dexter, and he was like Dokes. He was all over me.
Okay. Talk on Friday.
Thanks,
Keep
Hayden.
safe.
See you guys.